Hi, everyone. This is Diane and Jen coming to you from merely surviving to successful thriving. We wanted to have a podcast out there today talking about change and how we can cope with it and how can we can actually even embrace it. We wanted to just get out there and be kind of like a vessel for good in the world. We wanted to show women and really everyone alike that you have worth within you, and that it doesn't really have to be attained by getting things by outside things. Like I have to have the best job, I have the best guy, putting up with unacceptable behavior just because you feel stuck. That's just not in our um, vocabulary anymore today. So we just wanted to share with you what we do to try and stay sane and loving to ourselves and therefore passing it on to others. So we're just putting it out there. We want you to feel comfortable and safe. We want you to know that we're here for you 100% and that anything that you could be going through, I can assure you we've been there, and so have many, many other people. So I'm going to turn it over to Jen to just talk a little bit about what this podcast is going to be about, and then I'll get back to you soon.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. And Diane and I have been talking about this for a while because we've been through a lot of different things in our lives and we've helped each other through a lot of things. And we have a network of women that helps us through a lot of things where some people don't have that. And, change and different things that women go through can be really scary. Like a little bit about myself, I'm in the middle of getting divorced. I was with my husband for 27 years, and it wasn't a good relationship. There was physical abuse, mental abuse, infidelity. And for a lot of years, I was made to feel less than. I was made to feel trapped. I was made to feel like I wouldn't be able to survive by myself. And after you hear something like that for a long time, you kind of start to believe it. Now, looking back at it, I think to myself, how could I have actually sat in that and thought that this was okay? Like, I've had cops at my house. I've had, like, a lot of bad things have happened. But then there would be good times. And, I would say, oh, well, it wasn't that bad this time. Or, what am I going to do? I, I wasn't really working much. I was completely reliant on him for everything. And it was very unhealthy, absolutely unhealthy. I finally got my courage up to be finished with this, to not accept this behavior. And it was scary at first, I'm not going to lie. But I have a lot of good support and a lot of women in my life that I've been able to open up to. The shame left me because it's embarrassing too to tell people certain things that you've been through. Because you think to them, like, what are they going to think? What are you doing? Because it doesn't sound normal, and it isn't normal. I have a 13-year-old daughter who's absolutely proud of me today because now, in hindsight, she told me, I've been waiting for years for you to finally do this, Mom, and I'm so happy because I don't have to be scared anymore. I don't have to be nervous in my house. Excuse me. I I was able to get the strength up to actually have him removed from my house because he refused to leave. Um, he thought I could accept an open relationship at this point in my life. Like it's crazy. The things that he would try to make me accept goes against everything that I am and who I want to be. I have self-worth today. I have confidence in myself today. And these changes They started out small. I finally got the courage up to put them out. I started working. Of course, he tries to hold over the finances, so hasn't been paying his support order like he's supposed to. Um, but that's just what they do, you know. And I've been able to maintain my bills, working, taking care of myself. My house is clean. I've actually had a better time since he's been gone. My house is peaceful. My kids are happy. Um, we were able to go on a couple vacations. I'm getting ready to make a major change in my life. I'm actually getting on a plane tomorrow and I'm going to Florida to find myself a place to live so I could have a fresh start. Something I always wanted to do, something I never thought in a million years I'd be able to do. And I'm actually going to get on that plane tomorrow and do it. So it's all, it's really exciting. Um, I've also learned how to set up boundaries, not with just that relationship, but setting up boundaries with unacceptable behavior in my life, just with other people. I'm a good person. I treat people with love and respect. I treat people the way I would like to be treated. But I used to be a doormat, and I'm not a doormat anymore. And you know what else that I've noticed? It's like super important for me too is self-care. I take care of myself today. I get my nails done. I go out to eat. I do things for myself because you know what? I deserve it. I deserve it and I do it. And I work hard. And it's just such an amazing change. Everything that's gone on in my life, like it's all starting to fall together into place. It's where God wants me to be. I feel like He's leading me in this direction. I asked for so many signs because before I left, I was so scared. And I asked Him for signs, and He was dropping bombs on me like things that just couldn't be ignored anymore. We'll get into that a whole nother time, but I just know that I went from living in such fear to living this faithful life right now that I don't have fear. I'm not even worried about moving out of state. It's just like another step in my path. My path has just become beautiful. I have positive people in my life. I've cut out all the negativity in my life. I've even, I have some really special people in my life that I'm not in a relationship with right now because it's unhealthy for me. Um, and I'm not going to accept being treated a certain way anymore. And, my kids are proud of me. It's my son's birthday today. We're going to have cake over here. And I just feel super blessed. And I have to thank Diane because she's been very helpful with me and supportive of me along this journey. And a couple times, you remember, I was super scared and nervous and say, maybe I could stick this out a little longer. And I'm like, nope, I can't. So I'll let you comment and see what you think about that.
Thank you. And yes, I mean, absolutely, it's a scary thing. A huge change like that is a very scary thing, And, I also was in a really abusive relationship. And let me tell you, it took so much time after it ended to realize that I didn't deserve to be treated like that. But I had to go through it. And I also, hopped on that bandwagon, when we got together because I had that vibe. I was desperate and lonely, and it was like, come and get me, So I, jumped in, and it was a really quick, compulsive um, act. It was within no time at all. I was married and having children, and you know what? I just really knew from the get that it wasn't good. But I still stayed on because I didn't have a sense of self. I didn't have a sense of who I wanted to be. I didn't know who I thought it was normal to, and it was the thing to be with a guy. You always have to have that guy, and you always have to take whatever is given to you. and no matter what it is, because you have to think of others and be there for others, and do for others. And I just remember those words, and as I say it, I remember those words coming out of my mom's mouth, do for others. This is not this, you're not in this life to do for yourself. You're here for the sake of others. And when she said others, she wasn't talking about herself or my father or everybody in the relationship. She was talking about literally the disease of alcoholism. I have to do for the disease of alcoholism. And so what I did was followed suit. So I did that very well. I'm like, you know what? I had to be there. I had to do it. So that's what I did. I had allegiance to it. I had loyalty to it. And I lived my life by it for so many years until it just hit me. And then one day, after that relationship was over for a while, I had this epiphany. I had this spiritual awakening. I was sitting in my living room and I'm watching this show, and I'm like 9 months pregnant. And I'm watching this show and I'm like, I feel so peaceful right now. you know, could have been that I was having a nice big fat bowl of ice cream at the time, but that's not what was giving me peace. I just felt so peaceful, and I struggled and I had a hard time, but I made it through, and I did totally surround myself with a network of women and people that were able to lift me up when I needed some lifting. I had people coming from all over my church, my circle of women. I had help. I had people come and watch them for a while so I could get out. I had, like programs and people telling me like what I could do to get out of it, what I could do to do the next right thing. Like, what do I need to do today? I have to get out and work. I have to make sure, because when I did leave, I didn't care what I had to do to get out of that. It was, a spiritual awakening in and of itself, but I didn't know it. I was just like, I don't want this anymore. And then, I went on welfare, food stamp. I didn't care. And I made it through to the other side with the help of everybody. And I believed in myself enough to say, I can do this. And it took me, to be alone for about 5 years, raising those two beautiful little girls that I have. Thank God for them. And they're okay and we're okay. And everything worked out the way it was supposed to work out. And I no longer accept unacceptable behavior today. I don't even know what the heck I was thinking back then. I was like, wow, I really thought, I really, at my core, believed that I was supposed to do that. We're supposed to be punching bags. We're supposed to be doormats. We're supposed to just do what everybody wants. And we're supposed to be there for people and be the emotional support for everybody in our lives, and not expect any for ourselves. Um, you know, and I've learned over the last couple years, I'd say about 3 years now, like I've learned how to literally, and I'm going to use the word, which is really a funny word because I saw it in a book that I read. I'm not like, this is all learned stuff. Let me tell you, it says I learned how to oust, oust people. I just put them out. Like, I just don't have any time for it. I'm getting older. I feel safe within myself. I feel content within myself. I do not need anyone, you know, abusive, or not even just like abusive, anyone who doesn't support me. Like, I just need support just like everyone does. And if they're not supportive of me, or they're negative about the things that I'm doing in my life, there's some people that have, like, I like to go to the gym too. Like, I get up in the morning and I go, and it's with a group of people that I absolutely love, and they support you and they lift you up, and they watch your form and they make sure you're doing it right. And they tell you, no, you can do more than that. And, they push me. And some people would say, like if I'm tired, you do go to the gym almost every day. Like, no, that when I'm really tired, it's usually because I haven't gone, because my body's so used to doing it that I I try to go as often as I can and get it helps me. And I used to be a trainer years ago. I used to say to everybody, all the clients, usually, if I don't get active from the neck down, I'm going to get active from the neck up. And that's the truth, overactive from the neck up. So it's not about how I look so much as how I feel inside. And I do these things for myself because I know they work. I don't do it because I want to tell it. I do it because I know it for me, it works. And routine has always been my friend, and I never knew it. Like, I know, like, if I start that day off like that, lots of spiritual literature and reading and contemplation and reflection and writing. Lots of that meditation is listening to God, prayer is talking to Him. That's what I try to do in the morning. And then I start my day like that, and then my exercise, and then my healthy eating, and then I work. And I just absolutely love life like that. And I just feel like I'm aligned with this huge power greater than myself. So I wanted to also turn it over to you and see what you think about that as well, Jen.
Yeah, I pretty much start my day out the same as you. Like I get up before anybody in my house because I need some quiet time. I need to sit and meditate. I do my readings. I do a little post in the morning. Um, yeah, I just need time to like just sit in quiet. And I always pray for me just to get a little bit better every day. Just a little bit. Um, I remember too, like quite a few months ago when I mean, I've been tossing this idea around for 5 years, honestly. I went to see a divorce lawyer 5 years ago because I was miserable, but I was still living in fear. So I remember a couple months before I finally got him out, I said, I'm giving you all my 2 weeks notice. I quit this. I was like at home mother. I was like, I'm done with this. I want to get a job. I want to get a job and take care of myself. You know how many years, even the little things like cooking for 3 kids, two of them like this, one of them doesn't like that. And I would go ahead and make something different. It was like years and years and like cleaning the house and doing laundry. And then I wake up and it all has to be done again. It was years and years of this, something that I never really wanted to do. I mean, of course I got to clean and stuff, but it wasn't like very fulfilling. I'm glad that I got to spend time with my children, of course, but it's a thankless job. It really is. And I knew that I wanted more for myself. And you know what? I wasn't even able to be the greatest mother anymore because I wasn't happy with myself. I was accepting all kinds of behaviors that were unacceptable. I had no self worth. Today, I have self worth. I've changed just about every single thing in my life. I dropped 67 pounds in the last year. I eat healthy. I exercise. I take good care of myself. And it feels so much better. And once you just start getting on this path, you just keep moving forward. And I also started with small goals because I never want to overwhelm myself and then make myself feel like a failure. Like would want to do, like I would have a list of pretty much impossible things that I want to accomplish, like in a week, you know? So I start with small goals as long as I, for me, and I've gotten to do so many things and I don't know, my life is just, it's so much better than I even ever thought it could possibly be. I'm happy today. I'm finally happy and I actually love myself today. I could look at myself in the mirror. I'm not ashamed. I know what I'm doing in my life. I know what I accept in my life, what I don't accept in my life. I could be a strong role model, especially for my 13-year-old daughter. Super important. She's a blessing. And, I see the damage that I did to all three of my kids, not realizing it, but I see it today. And, at the same time, I don't regret what happened in my life because I needed to go through all this stuff to walk through this in order to get to where I am today. And I also just had my knee replaced 2 weeks ago. And God blesses me. I'm already up walking around. I was able to start walking 5 hours after surgery. No cane, no walker. And it's fantastic. I mean, I'm not back to the gym yet, but I'm at least walking at least 2 miles a day so far. And, everybody said, you're never going to be able to go to Florida 2 weeks after surgery. And my doctor even said, having such a positive attitude like I have makes a whole difference in how you recover for something. So I was on a schedule. I was like, I want to be out of here by December 1st. I got to get on that plane and I got to get this done. So, I used to be a procrastinator. I don't do that anymore. I take care of business. Everything that I need to do in my life, I take care of it today. And it's really uplifting. And I feel blessed to be able to do it. And I know that there's got to be people out there that are going through terrible things and see no way out. There is a way out. I'm telling you, there's a way out. I thought it was impossible for me. My life is better than I could have ever imagined. And you can do it too. And we're here to help you. What do you think about it, Diane?
I think it's absolutely wonderful. And, I was thinking that, anybody who's struggling, guys, girls, anybody alike, like think about what it was like 5 years ago. Think about like, do you remember something or someone coming across your path that led your thinking to be different? Like I remember those times now. Like before I wasn't even open to thinking like that. I would just be like everything's just awful, doom, impending doom. I'm not good enough. There's no way anything is going to work. I can't do anything right. And then something would happen even years ago before I even started on this journey years ago. Like I would see like an aunt or an uncle or a friend would call me. And by the way, it was on the house phone. They didn't text me and get me. I didn't text them back in 10 minutes. Just saying. I just wanted to say that out loud. But I would have to go home and I would get this call from a girlfriend or from someone to say they're coming over or whatever. Or do you want to do this or do you want that? Right when I was at my lowest possible point. And that I feel like is the hand of God and intervention right there. Like that happened so many times. That happened in so many forms and so many times in so many ways. And now I'm like, thank goodness I'm more attuned to it. I can look and see, when things are happening and that it's definitely um, the higher good happening for me and for the people that are in my life. Just when I think that did you ever think of calling somebody, but you procrastinate and you don't do it? And then they call you. I'm telling you, that's the universe saying, all right, here you go. Like their thought of calling you went up. My thought of calling them went up. And the universe went down and said, well, you guys are going to get together then. Like that was it. Like, and there's just so many different instances that happen. So many things happen in the right time, in the right place. I lost my sister a year ago. I lost her in 2021 in June. I'm going to try not to cry. And let me tell you, she opened my eyes to so many things through this. Like, you know, good always comes out of something. And, at the time, please don't even try to think of anything good. When you lose somebody that close, it's just, there's nothing good about it. Nothing. Like, no one can tell you, oh, well, she's in a better. No, you need to grieve that shit and you need to feel those feelings and you need to be pissed off and you need to be sad and you need to let people know it. And so, I had a lot of wonderful people, wonderful circle of women, men, people, my husband, everybody alike that were there for me when I was losing it over that. And it was a really hard time. And, you know, But the only way that I was ever going to feel any relief is to actually allow myself to grieve. And before that, up until about 10 years ago, I mean, both of my parents are gone. There's a lot of my family members that have passed just from really unhealthy behaviors and some medical conditions, but the unhealthy behaviors didn't like jive with the medical conditions, so the medical conditions got worse. And and I had to look at that, and I had to grieve it, and I had to feel it. And grief and me did not, we were not friends. I For years and years after my parents died, I did not grieve them, so it took I'm here to tell you, like, don't do it that way. Allow those feelings to come out, allow it yourself to just fall a freaking part. I had so many wonderful people in my life, fellow travelers and women and men and everybody there for me when I called. And thank goodness I have the ability to call too. I didn't do that before, pick up the phone and go, I'm freaking out right now. I can't see my sister and I don't know what to do. And they would be like, you're going to be okay. You're definitely going to be able to get to see her and everything's going to be okay. And then I did. And, I feel like she knew I was there, and I feel like she heard everything I told her and everything that I whispered in her ear about. And I still, and to this day, I do believe she is in a better place. Now I know, and now I can accept it. And I know that she's looking down on all of us and saying, you got this. You're doing such a good job. And you were the glue that held our family together. And I kind of was. I was like the glue that held everybody together with my neurosis and my low self-esteem and all that. But today I look back and I go, boy, what a journey. I had to go through every single second of all that shit to get where I am today. Every single second of it. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Your journey is your journey. Your story is your story. Your story doesn't change. You can't F up your story. You can't. Like, the only thing you could do is just talk about it and express it, and then um, get better as a result of not feeling alone anymore. And you're not alone. We're here. We're always going to be here. Leave comments, ask questions, do what you got to do. And that's all I'm going to say for today. I'm going to turn it over to Jen, and we're going to come up with another episode next week. We're just trying to decide what that episode is going to be about, but I'm going to turn it over to Jen right now. Mwah.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just thinking about somebody had said to me not that long ago, what are you doing? You should be getting back out there and finding yourself a new man. And I said, are you kidding me? Like, I need time to myself. I'm not saying that that won't happen down the road. I'm not, closed off to the idea of actually finding true love, but I don't need that right now. I need to be okay with myself and to heal. And, things look different right now, but there's nothing wrong with being alone. I'm a strong, independent woman, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You know, and I'm really never alone. Like I said before, I went on a couple vacations. I went on one with you. I went on one with one of my other friends, and then I went on one with one of my other friends. And you know what? We didn't have to have this nitpicky itinerary of what we were going to do. We just relaxed and did what we wanted to do, whatever came natural. There's no problem being by yourself. And it's acceptable to be by yourself. And you're not less than because you're not with somebody. So I don't ever want anybody to think that. You get judged sometimes for being single. But if I knew what I know today, I would have done this years ago. But that's neither here nor there. I just want you to know that there's hope. There's hope today for a better life. And you could put your mind to it and you can do it. You could accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. I'm totally able to take care of myself today. And I love myself today. And that's so important because I couldn't say that for a lot of years. So that's pretty much all I have to share today. And we will have to start thinking about what we're going to talk about for next week. But we're glad you were able to tune in.
Yes, love you all. See you soon.
All right.